Hey y'all, Bearder Bros Golf Show, back at it again. I'm Rod.
And now Marcus,
This is our first live show like in the same space, huh?
we are here together.
That's crazy. So welcome in. Special event that we have going on this week. So a little quiet on that. Touched on it a little bit, talking about goals. So we're in Huntsville, Texas this week. So um,
We're in the boonies, low key.
it feels like that. It's only about an hour outside of Houston, but it feels like you're in a completely different world. It's like a little bit of modern and country all mixed together.
Yeah,
So
they're trying to modernize. It's kind of remember that phase that Frisco went through where it was hardly anything out here
yeah,
but a 2-lane freeway. Now they got it 3 lanes across, always construction now, man. That's how they do it now.
yeah. The feeder roads are pretty trash, or service roads,
Right.
whatever they're called in your area of the world. We're like in a hotel. Like I think this is one of the newest hotels in the area. It's actually pretty fresh and clean and modern. Hadn't had too many college football weekends, and I don't know how big Sam Houston State football is these days. So, yeah. So anyway, special treat with us being in the same spot and location this week. We'll hit the topics of the week. Keep it pretty tight this week,
Yeah.
just because coming on a little bit later, football's on. Not that you really care about the Giants
The
and
Bengals.
Bengals,
Yuck.
but we'll touch on the trash Cowboys, which is funny. We posted our Dak Prescott video earlier on in the season, and
He getting exposed now.
every bad week that video gets a little bump. People come looking for
He
that
getting
video
exposed now.
for sure. So let's start off with the LPGA ladies. They were playing over in Shanghai, China. Um, Rhiannon Lin ends up getting the win by 5 strokes.
Yeah, ran away with it in the end.
Yeah, and it was crazy because it was a pretty competitive tournament
Yeah.
up until that point.
Mm-hmm.
All the days had a pretty tight leaderboard. There were 2 to 3 people tied at the top, and then she just took off on Sunday at her homeland.
Yeah.
I know you were excited to get some late golf in, when they play overseas,
Oh, for sure.
which the LPGA ladies will be for the next 2 weeks going forward. What do you think about the tourney?
Yeah, I mean, it ended up working out perfect in my schedule. I mean, just like what we're here for Huntsville for. I mean, I was actually doing my due diligence. I was getting my practice in. So by the time I got home from practice and had finished up dinner and everything like that, the coverage was coming on and it was live and we had it for 5 hours straight, 10 to 3,
Yeah.
the Wednesday through Saturday. So we pretty much got golf blessed. But I mean, you could tell from the beginning, Ronnie was on a mission in her home country. Gino Tentacool started out pretty hot and was trying to lead the group, and they had a lot of TV coverage for her. But
Yeah.
as they got into Thursday, the second day, we didn't see Rose as much. We didn't see Gino as much, but they kept showing Ronnie. And sure enough, she really was doing her thing, and she just kept plowing through. And Saturday, she had a hot round and got back into the mix. And then Sunday, she just really stormed away with it. I mean, even on her front, though, she was still 3 under,
Yeah.
and then had a nice little run where she went 3 birdies in a row to start the back nine. I mean, she just ran away with it, and she looked the part. I mean, it didn't even look like it was a struggle. She didn't really wait over the ball much. She really was doing her thing. So it was good to see her, really show out for her people. And it was crazy because if you watch the crowds at all, they cheered for everything she did.
Yeah.
And she had to be a good steward, and she shushed the crowd and made sure they were calm and respectful for the other players in her trio with Saigo, and then of course with Se Young Kim. But
She was on a run too early
yeah,
in the
she
tournament.
really had a hot run, and I mean, she shot a 62.
Yeah.
But we know how that goes. You shoot a 62, it's
hard to
hard
back
for
that
you
up.
to come back. And
Even though we're gonna get to it, I think we saw that on the PGA Tour this week as well.
right,
Adam jumped out to he was 11 under on day one, and then
never to be seen again.
yeah, it's tough to put those back to back rounds of kind of really low shooting together. So yeah, same thing happened to say Young Kim, even though she was balling out and she kind of just hung at the top, but wasn't able to.
I mean, she's not gonna be mad at second or third or whatever she had, or tied for tied third or whatever with Saigo. So I think she'll be all right.
For sure. Those greens were looking a little crispy. That was the one thing that
Oh
all week
man,
that was like, come on now, can we get the greens crew out here and run the roller over these things or something?
please
Somebody would look like they were dragging their feet, like they had some 70, 80-year-old men playing right in front of them.
paint them or something, please.
Yeah, they were crispy for sure.
They were not looking right.
But as we always mention, watching these Asian golf courses, definitely different layouts than we're used to seeing. A lot more rolling hills
Yeah,
and fairways. So interesting course on TV, and it looks good on
right.
TV
I still think it presented well on TV though. Yeah, definitely.
for sure. But yeah, shout out to Ronnie Yin for
Yin.
Yin,
Yeah. Get
Ronnie
it right
Lin.
first.
Yeah, Ronnie Yin for getting her win over in her home country and keeping the LPGA season going strong. These ladies are not slowing down. I think we're going to see a few more stars in this week's swing. I think I saw Lexi Thompson, maybe Nelly Korda supposed to be playing.
Think so.
I think, Rose Zhang stays over there during this swing as well. So it's just going to get better and better. And yeah, good golf at the end of the year.
Danielle Kane even made the trip.
No doubt. No doubt. Even if she's out there posing, but
Right. Two-time defending champ, but doesn't mean anything now.
no. So yeah, shout out to the ladies. Let's jump over to the Black Desert Classic. First time for the PGA Tour in 60 years in Utah.
61 years.
So that site, beautiful on TV.
Right.
The
lava
molten
rock,
lava,
yeah.
just the weaving the course throughout that pretty wide open fairways out there. Scoreable, not crazy scoreable as we saw, not like the first day where Adam Svensson. I think these players get excited to play a new site. Definitely fits the part. I think the course was well conditioned.
Yeah.
And it's good to see a new site. It's one of those ones where we're talking about earlier this year, even last week,
Right.
where the PGA Tour is scouting out some good locations so we can get some different variety going
Finally.
forward. I know, right?
Jeez. Get the trees out of there for once, man. Give us some rolling hills. Give us some true elevation change. They went to Castle Pines. That was great stuff.
Yeah.
That course in Denver, or I'm sorry, was it Denver?
Right
or was it
outside
right
of-
outside Denver?
Right outside of Denver.
We'll just call it Colorado to be
Yes.
politically correct.
Right.
It was a great course and it presented well on TV, and I think this did the same thing. And hopefully our audience is thinking the same thing, but always worth it to look into Utah because great state of sport, but more importantly, always some really good golf going on out there, and the elevation is fun to play with. We've played out in Arizona a time or two, and that was fun to do. And Rod has played out in Vegas, so seeing the ball fly, there's nothing wrong with getting your confidence up. You don't need to be in humid areas where the ball is just falling out the sky 5-10 yards short. Let the thing go a little bit more.
Yeah, it's definitely fun playing in the mountainous regions of the U.S. Tony Finau, Utah native, was catching some flack online. I want to say particularly his wife. She's actually been pretty active on TikTok, which we've recently both spent more time on. So I've been following her for a little bit, and she had to respond to a comment saying, someone questioning why Tony wouldn't be at this return event to Utah. And she said that, she put in a clip of him playing with his son at the PGA Junior tournament. And yeah, that's pretty important, right?
Family's always gonna overrule that. And then a lot of people don't understand that this event was supposed to start next year for 2025 and be on the schedule. So this year was really just a present to everybody. The contract was supposed to be a 4-year agreement and it was supposed to start from 2025 on. So I don't think there's anything wrong with you prioritizing family first. And anyways, it probably wasn't in his schedule because we all know Tony plays all over the world and plays many events throughout the year. So him missing one event just so happened to be in Utah, it shouldn't really be that big of a deal. But some people are weird about that type of thing.
He'll be back at it soon.
He will be.
Like you said, I didn't even know about it becoming early, but what did it take the place of?
I don't know what it took the place of, but probably one of those Napa Valley events in California.
Do we still have the worldwide technology in Mexico?
Probably.
We'll check the schedule, but
Yeah.
maybe it took that spot. But Matt McCarty, second event on tour,
Already getting it done.
gets the win. Three stroke win over the competitors. I think he was 23 under.
Mm-hmm.
Next closest was 20 under for the week. So lefty.
Lefty.
First.
Strong grip, plays a draw, fade for righties. I mean, he won 3 times on the Corn Ferry Tour, so he knows how to win.
Yeah.
That in itself is gonna, prove very important as he goes throughout his PGA Tour career. Being able to win in spurts, being able to go low, and you saw it here. He got into the 20s again, and that's what you're gonna have to do in some of these new events where the scoring is going to be available, these wide open fairways like it was out there. That's what he did in the Corn Ferry Tour. I remember one of the weeks he won, he shot 25 and it was something, it was just too easy for him.
Yeah.
So I think he's, going to be all right. It's just going to be a test of can he maintain that going forward, and really, just like we were talking about with the Scotty Scheffler thing, yeah, he can go low, but when you're battling for par and when you're battling even tough courses, can you shoot those scores too? So we're going to see.
Yeah. This is definitely a generous course. Wide open. Fairways were wide. Greens were large.
2 drivable greens.
Yeah. Very. Yeah.
2.
There was one that was
Like
they kept
14.
looked like they were aiming off to the far right. Yeah.
Right. One did, Henrik Norlander drove it with a 3-wood.
You're right. There were several people with 3 woods on the green. So.
Yeah.
So shout out to the young man. I think the signal's pretty decent here. I didn't have time to get it. We're again off site. Didn't get a chance to do my full usual what's in the bag. So we're gonna try to do this in real time. Hopefully, the Golf WRX website, which is known for its ads, doesn't slow us down. But we'll hit this real quick and get in and get out here.
Chat, Rod has instructed me I need to be looking at the camera, but I'm sorry if my eyes are darting down.
We're going to be looking at the screen during this one. Since we're let's go full screen on our end. So again, the hot club of the year, hot driver.
Driver of the year, man.
I mean, seriously, it's in my bag. So I've talked about the Ping G430, particularly the LST. Now there are a few pros that are playing the max version of this, which is more forgiving.
Yeah.
But I need low spin, super high spin with the driver. So I need something that takes spin off both in the ball and the driver head. And this has really done it. It's helped out. Initially, when I first started playing with it, I thought I was losing some yardage. Started teeing it up just slightly higher, and I have gotten that yardage back. That was kind of a letdown, right? You don't want to switch into a new driver.
You play with a little bit of rollout too, huh?
Yeah, now I am. And I think it's really that low spin coming out like a knuckleball. So that I'm starting to get a little more rollout. Before it was just straight carry. So this driver has been in so many bags that we've reviewed this year, whether they're Ping staffer or not. The Ping G430 LST has been the hot boy club for the year. He's playing, the traditional Fujicara Ventus, the 6X blue. Again, a lot of the more high swing speed players we've seen have played the black version of this driver, shaft, but he's in the 6X blue. 3-wood throwback. So this is near and dear to you. So he's playing the Ping G410.
Yeah.
Again with the Fujicara Ventus blue. What's your feeling on the 410?
I'm a tinkerer, so I just actually took it out of the bag, but it's if my fairway gets in any kind of timeout, I still got that shaft. I still got it ready because that G410 did everything for me. I mean,
we took it
off the deck.
Sorry, keep going.
Off the deck, it was great. Off the tee, it was great. I mean, it presented well. The only thing to me is, I guess visually speaking, I felt like it just looked a little bit closed, but it probably is easier for people to adjust more to that than it would be to visually like a more open looking club face where it feels like it's facing more right than anything.
Yeah.
But I mean, I had it in the bag for 3 years and it did me very well. So he knows what he's doing staying with that G410. It's still a hot face.
Yeah.
And I think he knows what works best for him.
No doubt. 7 wood, which we're seeing a lot of 7 woods and 5 woods these days. He's got the 430 max in the bag for 21 degrees. So that's playing kind of like
Like a 3 hybrid or a 4
I
hybrid
think
because
closer
it's like
to 4.
is it like 21 degrees?
Because my 3, yeah, it's 21 degrees. My 3 is 19.
Right. So is mine. Yeah. So that's more like a 4 hybrid. But I mean, Sahib, Ping Staffer, he has a 9 wood.
Yeah.
And his is like 23 degrees. He loves that thing. He says he flies his like 230, 240. So I guess that's just the name of the game now.
Yeah. I think just you get more real estate, more confidence down by the ball. You can pop it up.
Right. Comes down like an iron still instead
Yeah.
of coming in all, guns a-blazing like a 4-iron or something like that now with all these long, those stronger lofted clubs that everybody's playing.
Yeah,
now.
that's the thing about the driving irons or just the lower lofted irons. They just don't get the height
Right.
that you'd want.
Unless you're Rory.
True. He's like the one.
Rory hits everything like a 9-iron. That jerk.
No doubt. So clearly this guy's a ping staffer. The ping blueprint, 4-through pitching wedge with temper dynamic goal 120 by 100. What's that?
That's the X100.
120 X100.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Rod got it. No need to apologize.
So beautiful club, a little help.
Yeah,
He's got a little help going on.
The blueprint is so tiny, bro. It's like dime size. Mike used to play them.
Really?
Mike used to play the blueprints, and now he's in the Strixon game or whatever he's doing. But he still plays Ping Woods, and loves them. But yeah, the blueprint is a very visually stunning club. Almost reminds me more of like the old S59, which is pretty much what it replaced.
Yeah.
So I guess for us, it's kind of like if you look at the Titleist MB or like the Titleist CB.
Yeah, I was gonna say it
kinda
looks like a
that.
muscle back type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Kind of a combo between a muscle and a cavity bag. It's got characteristics of both.
Yeah, small profile, but weight on the bottom still helps you get it up. But definitely, dime size sweet spot. So you can't miss that thing.
I'm gonna have to go back in like an off week and look at the new offerings from True Temper. It seems like they've got some different variation in their dynamic gold line these days that we haven't seen in past. So like a lot of different variations within that X100 lineup that we've been seeing here lately.
But I mean, it's the same thing as with not necessarily souped up clubs, but tour issue stuff is just like the player edition on basketball shoes.
Yeah.
They're going to get a lot more features than we would. And then once that it's tour proven, then we might get a bite out of that pie. But,
But I think this is probably a response to KBS.
Yes.
And their shafts that have been super popular. I mean, really going on like 10 years at this point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. True Temper definitely needed some more versatility in the game. And I think they're finally getting in that boat. So you're right.
Yeah, they were losing some ground for a while. The wedges, we got the Ping Glide Forge 50 with the bounce of 10, 54, 10 bounce, and the 60 in their T6 grind. Again, nope, with the heavier, traditional wedge shaft, True Temper Dynamic Gold Tour Issue S400. And also, he's got the stamping of Butterfingers. There's a video embedded on this page, which again, it takes up a lot of bandwidth on the internet, so I'm not going to play it. But he gives a story. So if you go search up the Golf WRX, What's in the Bag for Matt McCarty, he's got a story behind this Butterfingers insignia. So I think it was Golf WRX that highly rated the Ping wedges for performance this year, particularly out of wet conditions. They're not widely adopted across the board, even with a lot of Ping staffers, you see them playing
Vokey wedges,
exactly.
anyways.
So it's interesting that starting to see some adoption of their glide, and it's probably because
I think it's finally just they finally maybe some of these other brands have finally released some of these patents that they've been able to get into and things like that. But yeah, the first couple of models definitely looked better than they actually performed.
right, they looked always beautiful.
They always looked great. And I mean, you get into the S59 wedges too, and even those look good, but they're actually productive now. So Ping finally catching up with Vokey and even per se TaylorMade or Callaway. Those passed them up. I mean, Cleveland. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many different wedges.
And I think probably everything is probably predicated on business as well.
True.
So I think outside of drivers, and you mean with irons, you're probably going to stick with your irons for a while, right? That's probably the most prolonged club in your bag or set of clubs. Woods you may change every 2 to 3 years. I think wedges is every 1 to 2 years for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Just because it's your most utilized club.
Practice, short game. A lot of these guys are big hitters, especially on the tour.
Yeah.
So you're doing nothing but hitting wedges. And then I think a lot of people don't understand that when you're a pro golfer, you don't have a 9 to 5, but your 9 to 5 is golf.
Yeah.
So you're spending off season and practicing. You're out there 6, 7,
Yeah.
8 hours out of the day. So yeah, they're gonna have some wear and tear on them.
And I'm sure they're noticing with their launch monitors, they're losing spin.
Losing spin, the lie, the loft, all that stuff changes the more you beat them into the dirt and everything like that.
Right.
For sure.
So, look at Ping getting their stuff together. I think top to bottom, I don't know if you'd agree with this, but top to bottom, I think Ping
Up there.
is up there. And
Up
that
there.
if you're just an agnostic, if you had to go with one brand, I feel like Ping has really gotten their stuff together.
Right. Through the bag, you could definitely do it. And, Rod knows this, but, the general chat doesn't. But I have 2 Ping putters in timeout right now. So they're always in the closet, ready to pop out when old Scotty over here, really starts kicking it up. So Ping definitely has always had a liking amongst true golfers. And it's kind of like, to me, it's truly niche. And I like how you said that a couple of weeks ago, but it truly is in golf. It is a niche thing. And if you are a Ping fan, through the bag how good Ping is.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't. Now, if you're Terrell Hatton, you kind of do, but
Rocking the Ping PLD custom Type C.
center shafted putter.
Okay, Marcus has a definite aversion to center shafted putters. Who was the other one that we reviewed a couple weeks ago?
I mean, who doesn't have a center shafted, either a lab putter now or...
This is true.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the lab ones definitely tend to trend towards that. You know who there is the OG of the center shafted putter and notorious a-hole who we've done a video on earlier in the year?
Phil.
Not even Phil.
Ooh.
Zach Johnson.
Lord, that dickhead. Oh my God.
The original slime ball that popularized the center shaft.
I don't want to remember anything about that guy. Bad captaincy and everything. I don't want to remember that.
And then he's playing the TaylorMade TP5. That's interesting. Not interesting, but
No, it is.
Ping has never, I shouldn't say ever, but has not put out a ball in a while, right? So it's just not in their lineup. But the TP5 is an interesting choice. Not the X, but just the straight TP5.
Interesting.
I know. I'd be interested to know what this guy's numbers are.
Yeah.
I guess we'll get to know McCarty more as clearly he's going to be a decent player out here.
We'll see him at least two more years on the PGA Tour for sure.
Right. So it'll be. I'd love to see his numbers.
Wow.
Again, not playing a super hefty shaft in his woods, and also playing the TP5 standard version. I shouldn't say standard, but
the TP5. To me, that's the ball I play. But it's the more spinny version.
Yeah.
It's got more compression. A lot of the pros. You see it. Rory, TP5X. Let's see. Fleetwood, Ricky Fowler,
right.
TP5 picks or TP5X picks and stuff like that. Nelly Corda, she made the switch too.
She's playing the X?
She plays
Yes,
the X
that's
now.
right.
And so to me, it's on the box. It even says the TP5 has more spin, green side spin too. Nelly says she likes.
I think it should be even. Usually with, I mean, you've seen the box more
Yeah.
recently than I have. So they say that the 5 has more green side spin.
Yes, so it's
Huh.
it's kind of like the Pro V1X. So the TP5 is softer, not as high as launching, but low spin off the tee, but green side spin.
Tell me what you think about this. I know it's a feature that a lot of these manufacturers push, green side spin, but to a certain degree, I don't think it's that useful to have like an overly spinny ball around the greens. Like I feel like that's manipulation that you can do with the club
Yeah,
if you are trying to create spin.
you're saying no.
I don't know. I like spin, but I also
You are a spinny player.
I know, but I like to play with
Chad,
a little
don't-
bit of release as
Chad,
well.
don't
But
listen to
whatever.
him.
Whatever.
He's a super spinny player. Me, however, am not. I like a ball with a lot of green side spin. So I don't have to feel like I'm manipulating it and manufacturing so much spin. He automatically does. He has a very,
I think I'm
very
speed.
fast, quick motion through the ball. I'm more long, fluid, and a little bit more smoother, which is why I get into trouble. Sometimes I fat it because I'm over here swinging it to my shoulders instead of just a quicker motion. So for me, like that's why I play the Bridgestone BXS. So when I'm coming through, I know it's going to either come out high with a little bit of release because of the spin, or it's going to do that low check skim and then it's going to release out after that. But I think it's, to each their own. But
Yeah.
I would say it's not much difference either way it goes. And that's Chrome Soft,
Yeah.
Chrome Soft Tour, any of those different balls where they are trying to, basically compare it to the Pro V and Pro V1X. So
Yeah.
I agree.
So that's Matt McCarty's What's in the Bag, a little bit different than our usual format, but again, we're doing it different. If you're just jumping in late, our first show where we've been in the same room together, right?
Wait, look, even my interruptions are not delayed. So
Right. So this will be an interesting little edit when I edit it up this week. So, and that's also another thing. I've been meaning to put that in some of the edits. I hadn't put out as much of our kind of shorter versions of our episodes. We've had a lot going on. You can only put your energy into like so many things at one time. So appreciate y'all hanging in there. We've been pretty consistent with our lives, but had to take a little bit of concentration and put it elsewhere in the last couple of weeks. But we'll be back at it here pretty soon. So over on the DP World Tour, also the European Tour. I love when I go to the website, it still says European Tour
thankfully,
in the URL.
let us know.
So it's crazy that it's still DP World that they can't get the URL changed, but whatever. They played in the official name of the event,
The Open de France.
Open de France at Le Golf National.
Again, third time around.
That course is a fun play.
It really is. It visually is stunning.
Yeah.
I don't mind them playing it 3 times. It really does look like a true fun golf to play. Now, they scored a little bit better than what they did for the Ryder Cup and stuff like that, and pretty much similar to what happened at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Within a few shots, the leaders.
I think it looks like a different setup, slightly. Right?
Slightly.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, they had to change it up a little bit, but overall still the same thing. And at one point, the commentators were saying that this is probably a record for the most people in contention for winning. There was 17 players within 2 shots of the lead at one point.
Yeah, it was kind of nuts. It just kept the leaderboard just kept shuffling
Absolutely.
and rotating. So what's also interesting is when I watch DP World Tour events is the commentators.
Yeah,
How aggressive they are. At one point in time,
super critical.
there was a commentator really going hard at a guy, and they had to just kind of cut away They literally, it was getting like uncomfortable as hell.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, y'all gonna have to chill over there. But the press acts differently, in Europe and other countries than they do in the U.S. It's definitely
Definitely.
a cordial relationship between players and the commentators, but they also have a lot more range interviews
Yeah.
over there. It's a lot more interactive.
They have a
So,
lot better banter. They're a lot more jovial over there. So even if they're throwing jabs and stuff like that, it's all welcoming because they know each other personally.
yeah,
I mean, but again, I think that's because of what the DP World Tour is now. It's yeah, it's a feeder tour, but a lot of those guys travel together. A lot of those guys go to the same events. So it's not like the PGA Tour where you see Rory one week and then you don't see him for 4 or 5 weeks, but you see, Zach Johnson every week. We don't want to see him. We want to see
yeah,
Torbjorn Olesen and stuff like that. We want to see those guys week in and week out. And that's what you see on the DP World Tour. The money's not as long, so you have to play week in and week out. So that's, I think, why they're not necessarily allowed to talk a little bit more aggressively, but they know each other better.
yeah.
Like I know that dude personally, so like I know he's not gonna take offense to me. I don't know why he took that shot when he could have easily just did that. He's not gonna take offense to that.
Yeah.
On the PGA Tour, we might have a different situation.
Right. Refuse press interviews.
Exactly. No, I'm not answering his questions. I made one bad shot and he wouldn't let me live it down on live TV for 2 hours. No, you know how they butthurt they get.
That's why Smiley Kaufman keeps it PC at all times.
I love him.
So Bradbury,
Yeah.
Dan Bradbury, Englishman ends up winning the tournament again. A lot of guys in contention. He ends up getting it by one stroke. Super surprised it didn't go into a playoff.
Right.
We've had so many playoffs on the DP World Tour here this year, and especially lately. But he was able to kind of keep the lead. Had a really courageous shot where he was kind of hanging. Got lucky on the drive, hanging on the edge of the hazard. Puts an 8-iron. I think it was an 8. Ends up hitting an 8, but no, it was like a 9-iron from 154 on the crazy side of the hole near the water. But that kind of pushed him ahead, and he was able to capture it from there. However, that does not free him from controversy. I'm going to share my screen here. Apparently, after the tournament, questions became very apparent about his possible anchoring of the putter here. And, we've been very critical of.
You know how we feel.
I hate the anchoring. It's just, since they went away from, people being able to literally put it in their chest. Here, we have somebody screenshot him and saying, how is this not anchoring? I was just scrolling a second ago and someone puts a picture of what is not anchoring. And I think that's pretty apparent
That's pretty apparent.
of what not anchoring is.
Yeah.
And I want to see if it blows up. No, he snipped it. But this compared to Dan Bradbury that does.
Yeah.
put into question.
And also he just made that switch too to it.
Right, that was this week. So could be getting used to it, but
Looking funny in the light.
I don't know. This is one of those rules of golf where similar to kind of the time penalties that I think we really have to start seeing this rule get enforced.
Right. Agreed.
Bernard Langer has been a long offender.
Oh yeah, he does it. He does it. I don't care what you say. He does it. He anchors. That thing is touching his breastbone
Every time.
Every time. Now Adam Scott, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. You see a little slack in there. You see the thumb moving around, and that's the thing. It's a crutch. If you're putting these dollars out for the winnings, you should want to follow the rules.
Yeah.
And when you're out here and you're finding every kind of crutch you can to put that thing as close to possible to that thing so you can have some type of anchor.
That fulcrum, yeah.
Just go ahead, bro. Just do the arm lock.
I know.
That's your crutch right there. It's easy You have to cheat there.
I mean,
bro.
legitimately, it is an advantage to be able to have that swinging motion.
Seriously.
So I respect the folks that choose to use this style of putter because they have the yips. Clearly, it doesn't solve all your problems because I was watching Lucas Glover this week,
Still tough.
and he had a really short putt for birdie on one of these holes this week, and ends up again technique falters. Doesn't It's not a guarantee. Adam Scott, we've seen him
Yep.
still continue to struggle. He's not a world class putter by any means.
By any means, you're right. So true.
So I don't know. I feel like this is again one of these rules where they have to the leagues have to get on the anchored putting,
Yeah.
and really make it clear. If you banned it, you banned it.
Yeah. Agreed.
Again, going back to that diagram, there is a clear separation and really more of an upright motion or
Right.
an upright, holding of the club.
Away from you. Clear and concise proof that it's away from you.
Yeah. In the same way that they test face thickness on drivers, this is one of those things where they need to display the proper technique and
Yeah.
how they're holding the club. So
Agreed.
but shout out to that man for getting his second DP World Tour European Tour victory. Never gonna hate on a man for
A win
a
is a
win.
win.
It is. So shout out to Dan Bradbury. Let me see if there were any other random stories that want to bring up. I think that's really it.
Yeah.
Golf was, it was straightforward this week. I mean, it was good quality golf.
What happened in the championship? In the Champions Tour? Does it matter?
The SAS.
Yeah.
Let's check it
I
out.
think the best thing that happened with the SAS is when our guy Freddie Couples won on a last day 60 where he only birdied one par 3. And I mean that's insane in and of itself. That
So-
you had 11 birdies and only one of them was on a par 3.
That 60 that
That was in
yeah,
2022.
that was crazy.
Yeah, that
He
was
said
a crazy round.
He said he had never struck the ball as good as he did that day.
At 63, age 63, by the way, y'all.
You just never know when the game's gonna come around. I'm telling you.
You keep fighting and it's gonna hit you.
I'm telling you. I tell my wife every week. I'm like, I figured it out on the back nine.
I'm close.
I was like, I felt it. I had some shots. I was striking it out the center. You just never know. So Jerry Kelly, the most neurotic man in golf,
Oh man.
he makes me nervous watching golf, man. That body language and just
Nervy.
all the time. He won it by a stroke over Patty Harrington,
Oh.
which Patty Harrington should be dominating.
Yeah.
He's like one of the longer guys out there, still
The
playing.
longest.
He plays every week too.
He played in the downhill links.
Right. I was joking on our text thread that Ryan Fox is another guy that is a world traveler that you're always going to catch Ryan playing golf somewhere. So he was in Utah this week. I want to say he's been overseas with the DP World Tour the
Yep.
previous week.
I'm telling you, everything to not be in New Zealand, bro. He does not want to be home.
Ryan Fox's frequent flyer miles are caking up right now.
Oh yeah. His credit card gets accepted everywhere. They don't even question. This is not a fraud alert here, buddy.
Foxy, come on in.
Yeah, come on, bro.
Football. Let's transition.
Yeah.
The Cowboys.
I'm still excited about the NFL, and I'm still excited about college football.
So college football has been pretty legit.
It has been.
Last night, the Ohio State Oregon game had me locked in.
Oh man, down to the wire.
No doubt.
It's such a great Georgia, Alabama, same thing. I mean, again, my team trash, but we're not gonna talk about U of H because when it comes to basketball, them boys gonna be Final Four bound.
No doubt.
Just like our Mavs. You know what I'm saying? You can't
No
take that away from us.
What's another good game?
And basketball is what I love anyways, but man,
Texas OU was garbage.
oh, it started out kind of excited, but I'm a Texas fan before I'm an OU fan, and that's for all you people that think that North Texas is Oklahoma. You don't lump us in with that.
It depends on where you go in North Texas. So
That's
when I go to Sherman, I am closer to Oklahoma than I am
To home.
to my own house.
You are right.
So
Dang, you got a point.
so it can be. I mean,
Got a point.
it's legit. Also, the LSU Ole Miss game was actually pretty good. Came
Yeah,
down to OT. So yeah, college football's really shown out. The Cowboys today, our team,
getting exposed.
no doubt, man. I mean,
Embarrassing.
so it's like it's a double whammy. Detroit shows how legit they are, and we'll come back to that one. Uh, yeah. So the Cowboys show how not contenders they are.
Right.
I think that's the biggest.
And for us to be 3-3 and us feel that far removed from a championship,
Because it's been an ugly. The three wins have been not pretty.
yeah, you barely beat the Giants. They still had a chance to beat us going down the stretch in the fourth quarter with Daniel Jones at the helm. With Daniel Jones at the helm. I mean, like, I don't even know what else to say besides Daniel Jones is top 3 worst QBs in the league at this moment, next to some rookies who don't even have any kind of experience.
So yeah, for reference, right now, fourth quarter, Daniel Jones is 16 for 30, 152 yards, 0 TDs, 1 interception.
And we almost lost to that.
That's who Daniel Jones is.
And then of course we were supposed to beat Cleveland because Deshaun Watson deserves nothing good. Period.
Now he's a horrible human being, and apparently he's been exposed this year as
Again.
as a horrible human being. He's been exposed
Non-studier.
and a non-studier of NFL offenses. So they've tried to cover him up, run these college-style offenses, option read type stuff, and he's just been exposed. I hope.
We need some growth out of you, Mr. Watson.
I feel like the Browns are so dumb that they didn't put in like a morality clause to be able to scrape back some of that money that they paid him, all
Right.
that guaranteed money.
I mean, he was one of the very first fully guaranteed contracts in the NFL. And now look at what you got going on.
You got to pay that man.
$223 million.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So, Dak.
Please.
So let's get to the stats of Dak.
Oh Lord.
So of course they lost to the Lions 47-9.
Yeah. Okay. I can know off a rip as you get to the stats, as you find them. I can tell you off rip the very first pick that he threw, trying to get it to CD Lamb. We have seen the athlete that CD Lamb is. Why are we throwing these low and away balls? If we're in the corner of the end zone, why are we not throwing a jump ball to the far corner where if he can't catch it, nobody can catch it?
Give him a chance to out athlete.
You letting a secondary defender come in underneath the route and get the pick. The dude, he got his man beat, and you throw it in front of him up. He dives, Tony toe taps. He's good.
Yeah.
Please.
Did you catch the soundbite from last week where he went at Dak and said it was like a on the goal line? Dak
That
ended up
pick.
throwing that pick.
I saw the mouth, and
Yeah,
it
the
was
mouth.
throw it up. Throw it up.
And he said what did he say?
That's a jump ball.
But he said something else. He said that's a poor effort or poor pass, dead ass.
Yeah, but
It was.
that's Dak though.
It is.
He, from the jump, even on his best day, he still has never shown touch
and
versatility with how he throws the ball. It's always one speed. It's always one level. The
Right.
best ball he's ever thrown was to Tony Pollard on that wheel route 30-some games ago, bro. We still talking about that.
That's what makes Pat Mahomes so special. It's his
Right.
ability to change the angle of his arm and release, put air underneath it. Prime Aaron Rodgers before he turned into a crazy person.
Yeah,
was
man.
the ability to hit different windows and just drop it in over his shoulder, throw it on command. Dak did not deserve that $200 million contract. No one can convince me. And the reason I say that is because we made that that prediction
Yeah.
before it got bad.
Right.
This was, coming off of game one, he got the contract. We were like, this is bad.
Yeah.
This is no good.
Yeah.
And it ain't the personnel. I'm
It's not.
sorry.
No, we still got good enough players.
On offense.
But I mean, the defense is terrible. Nobody is adjusting to Mike Zimmer's situation or his schemes or whatnot. I think we're really showing how much we miss Dan Quinn and his brilliance that he
Yeah,
had
no doubt.
for those 3 years.
No doubt.
But I mean, Washington's paying it forward. I mean, don't get me wrong; they got exposed by one of the best teams to do it this year. I mean, Baltimore's really turning it around, and we're seeing how truly scary they're going to be coming out of the AFC.
Yeah.
But you can't diminish what Washington is doing so far,
No.
and what they're going to continue to do.
Jaden Daniels is legit, but
Oh,
he's
yeah.
going to have rookie struggles.
Absolutely.
What it is. But Dak ended up 17 for 33, 178 yards, 2 interceptions, no TDs, and then for kicks and giggles, Cooper Rush came in there and threw an interception as well.
No shot. You're lying.
No. Legit. Jared Goff, not very efficient game.
Yeah.
18 of 25 for 315.
Oh, because the yak yards, because we don't catch.
No.
I mean, we don't tackle.
No.
And then
three
they
TDs,
ran
yeah.
all through us
Yeah.
as well. I mean, freaking David Montgomery had not a lifetime game, but I mean, if you look at any of the runs he had in the first half, he hardly getting touched on that first level.
Yeah.
He getting all the way to the linebackers before he even getting scraped. Reached that.
And then even to mention, you mentioned the Washington game. Hell, they only lost by a touchdown.
They only lost because they still put up 23.
Daniels, no interceptions, 2 touchdowns.
Again.
Kid's legit. You know, they're using him in the way that he needs to be utilized. Just throw this comment up from Miss Yolanda
I
Babel.
said this first week, though.
Colorado Buffs are must-see TV.
Absolutely.
What pisses me off about the Colorado Buffs is every game coming down to the end and them having to scramble. I'm just like, where is this at the beginning of the game? Can y'all
Right.
go blow somebody out? Can y'all
Please.
get focused from the very beginning?
We haven't seen that since Colorado State, but Colorado State deserved that
Right.
after all that damn talking they did.
You-
Boy,
both years.
both years.
So I'm actually happy because Dion was starting to feel like he was a grifter
Yeah,
and was going to blow town as soon as his kids are out of college. But
yeah, he's there.
he's getting some stuff done.
Yeah.
You know, what, 1 loss in the season, 5 wins?
Yeah,
So respectable. Even if they were at 4-2, if they had ended up losing that game this past weekend, I think it would have been a respectable. So,
absolutely. But yeah, I said it the first week. The Texans are the best team in Texas. Period. CJ Stroud is the real deal. D'Amico Ryan's at the helm. They're gonna go. I don't know how deep they're gonna go this year, but they got the pieces in order,
no doubt. No doubt.
and they got a defense. They got a great offensive scheme with that offensive coordinator that they got. Man, I mean, I'm in Houston, so I see it every week. They got it on my TV. But for real though, CJ Stroud is legit, and it's refreshing to see a quarterback that actually knows how to run an offense.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, professionally, and he's doing all the things. Yeah, we're in the best. I want to say once basketball starts,
Yeah.
we're gonna have a big crossover: college football, professional football, basketball, hockey's already started.
Yep.
Stars have had a good start to the season. Hometown Dallas Stars. Baseball playoffs have been really good.
Yeah.
So, dude,
We're in a good spot right now.
yeah. Only thing missing that I mean, we're out of off season. If you run a tennis tournament,
For real.
now,
And they're still competing. They just had like a WTA, like they had the ATP Masters 1000s event and stuff like that, but they're in China. So their stuff is even deeper,
Yeah.
like 12 a.m., 1 a.m. type deal. So, we're not going to really catch all that action, but yeah, we're right in the thick of it as far as sports go, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it, man.
still some good golf going on. So,
Definitely.
yeah, my computer's about to die. Again, celebrating our first live show together.
We covered a lot of good things, though.
We did. Kept it high and tight. Bearder Bros Golf Show. We'll be back at it again this coming week. Wish us luck for tomorrow. Even if you don't know what's going on, just wish us luck. I'm Rod.
And I'm Marcus.
We'll catch y'all next week.